Yo, what's flopping, everyone? Yo, shout out to Butter, man. Freaking guy, man. We got Butter, we got Thrax, we got Ember, and we got breaking news, actually, about the sun, which we're going to be discussing at great length. Mic check. Butter, what's flopping, man? You're good, man. uh, Hold on a sec. Let's shout this out. Stand by. Okay. Dude, I got the craziest freaking explore feed today ever. I'll tell you all about it in a second. Live on Rumble now. You know, it's funny because with the sun, like, raise your hand or rather comment if you have seen my video of the sun, zoomed in close up of the sun. If you saw my video, let me know. Shout out to Ember, who just gifted a subscription to Thrax. So now Thrax is a premium member of Rumble. Shout out to Ember. Thank you, Ember. And shout out to Sharola as well, and Intel Apparatus, who may be new here. Shout out to Intel, man. Unless, are you new? Let me know if you are, man. Now let me just adjust this combobulation. Go. There we go. The other thing that's crazy is, you know, David Icke, right? He says that so much happens when you no longer are really too concerned about what the average, when you let go of your conceived notions about what others may conceive about what you're sharing, right? So when you post a video, you got to understand, when you post a video talking about the sun and you say, is this a portal? Like, I'm not so sure it's a gas ball of fire. You get a lot of people who are flustered being like, what? In science class, I actually learned all about exactly what the sun is, and people have been studying the sun for millennia, and it's just simply, you know, but when you take away all the chaff, and again, there's steps to this. Like, you don't go from completely sleeping and a sheep to going like, wow, is the sun actually a ball of fire, right? You go from normal person to, oh, the moon landing? Damn, they really did fake that. Oh, spacewalks. They fake that too. Oh, NASA is full of baloney. Oh, the textbooks teaching us about space and spacewalks and satellites and planets are all full of shit. Then you can come full circle to go, well, hold on a second then. What may really be the sun? You know, mainstream news organization posted a couple things in the last 2 weeks. One, they think that the Earth has slowed down its spin, and now we have lost a minute because the rotation of the Earth has changed. Okay, how the fuck do you know? Sorry. And then also, it's just like, it's just full of baloney. When you don't trust the mainstream news, you don't trust the mainstream science either. It's all full of baloney. But here's the thing. They also said that they believe 200 million years ago, it rained on Earth for 1 million years straight. So that's what they are now saying is shocking breaking news about the history of the Earth. They know it rained 200 million years ago, but they still don't know how the pyramids were built. They don't know, they still say rather that Devil's Tower is just magma that hardened in a funny way. It's a freaking joke. So let me shout this out on Instagram and we'll get going because, oh, Campbell's. I got to tell you guys about Campbell's. Never eat any Campbell's soup or any Campbell-y type stuff like that ever again. I'll tell you about it in a second. This is a good title. Breaking: Campbell's soup. Human DNA found? Question mark. I'm not saying it was found, but was it? We're about to find out. Yeah, that's so true, Ember. That's so true. Sharola guessed it before. I mean, no, that's not what was the breaking shocking news, but um allegedly that's in a lot of different stuff. Who was it? The whistleblower who said it, McDonald's had that in there? That was shocking, man. Because I have actually, I wonder what I've eaten more of in the past. Something from Campbell's or something from McDonald's. Probably Campbell's, man. Tomato soups, mushroom soups. They used to be good, but maybe they used to not have the shit that they just found out is in them now. What's going on, everyone? So Campbell's soup, if you've ever had it, you're going to want to tune into this because we just got shocking breaking news. And let's just say it's shocking and breaking news. Now, the thing is, this is part of it is spiritual warfare. Like, it's not a whoopsie daisy accident that this stuff gets found in the food supply. There is an intentional plan here. And I know if we're just coming around the corner of becoming aware of what's going on, you'd think that all this is due to, incompetence, right? You'd think it's all just because corporations are like greedy. And so they don't care about the ingredients in the food. That's the cover story. Oh, they're greedy. No, it's part of a plan. It's not an accident. It's part of the assault on human consciousness where they need you in a lower state of consciousness so that you can be more easily controlled for the end goal, which is coming around 2030. And hopefully we have more time than that though. But if that is the time, then that will be, we'll be able to figure it out by then. Okay, so we're discussing this in full detail, which I almost probably just crossed the line right there. That is why we are live on Rumble, to not be affected by censorship on Instagram. So we're live on Rumble right now. It's both, Martham 53. It's both. Rumble is a free speech platform that's free to download, free to watch, and free to join. It's at the link in my bio. We're streaming there right now, doing a deep dive on this Campbell's expose. A freaking top dog from Campbell's exposed this. Like, this is shocking. It's going to totally destroy their stock or whatever. But the thing is, BlackRock owns all that shit anyway. So if you boycott Campbell's, but you buy like Kraft, it's like when people boycotted Bud Light because of that thing that happened and people just bought other beer. BlackRock owns all that shit anyway. They're all making the same amount of money. So you just got to boycott the whole thing in general. Anyway, we're live on Rumble right now. It's at the link in my bio, which there's a link tree. You can click it, then you'll see the Rumble link. Or you can go to Rumble and type in, just go to the link in my bio. Go to my link tree, all right? I hope to see all you guys on there. There's already 50 people on, and we got to discuss frickin' Campbell's. And then we'll maybe touch on the fact that the sun may not be a ball of fire as well. Okay, much love, everyone. We'll see you guys in 2 seconds at Rumble. You better come on over there, all right? Yes, Thrive. We watch that all the time, Ganja. We also, I'll tell you all about it. Come on over to Rumble. Ganja Fairy, I better see your name on freaking Rumble. And Big Wheels, you as well. Link in my bio. Free to watch, free to download, free speech. Okay, we'll see you guys there. Rumble, all right. No, he is a regular. Butterdog. Shane Fan is the guy who buys a shitload of chalk every few months to like the Netherlands, and he runs a Telegram channel that reposts every single one of my videos that I've ever posted. So he's like a super mega fan, but he's also like a recluse. We don't know what he looks like. He does speak a few different languages, so he's kind of like Jason Bourne. But yeah, no, he's chill, man. He's like a diehard fan. He's probably one of like the hardest core fans, but to a degree that is a little bit like unnerving, but just slightly uncomfortably a fan. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Shane Fan, man. Okay, guys, so listen to this. Holy crappers, man. Thrax, I'm pretty sure you can eat camels as long as it has split hooves. What was it again? Split hooves? What's a pig have? Just one solid. But doesn't a cow have a solid hoof? No, horse. Oh, horses have a solid hoof. So you're not supposed to eat horses. Anything with a solid hoof, it's got to be a split hoof. At least that's what it says biblically. So that's, you wouldn't eat pork, you wouldn't eat horses. What does the camel have? I'll tell you if you should eat camels or not, Thrax. Camel hoof. We're going to get into the Campbell's thing. Campbell's. A camel does not have a traditional hoof. It has a wide two-toed foot with a soft, leathery pad. Oh, so that's kind of a strange one. Camel meat, man. That's got to be freaking gamey. It's just chewing on dirt out there anyway. Welcome, everyone. But camels are cool because they can bring so much water with them in their body, in their little sack. I'm pretty sure people have survived by cutting open a camel and drinking the water out of its container in there. Okay, so Campbell's, listen to this. Campbell's, the soup company, a like top executive in the marketing or advisory part of the company, a top guy, was secretly audio recorded saying that the foreskins, no, I'm just kidding. But it's bad. It is bad, but it's not that bad. Basically, Apollo, I don't know. My understanding is like a cow has a split hoof, deer have split hooves, prey animals, most of them have split hooves, and those are the preferred ones to consume. That's what I heard anyway. Let's discuss it. But anyway, so this guy, anyway, he blows the whistle. He gets caught on a hot mic saying that, I don't know why the fuck anyone this is what he said. He swore, so I don't mean to swear, but he did swear. He doesn't know why the heck anyone eats their food. He said only poor people effing buy it. He said it's shit. He said that it's 3D printed meat. He's like, I don't want to be eating this fucking 3D printed meat. And he's talking about the chemicals or whatever. He went on a big tirade for an hour, roasted the company he works for. Now, the only reason we know that this happened is because the guy who recorded it is kind of, I have mixed feelings about him. On one side, he's a bit of a rat and like a tattletale. But on the other side, we wouldn't have heard this if he didn't rat. But so he's in a class action lawsuit now, like suing Campbell's. I don't even know why, actually. I only just heard this story like 20 minutes ago. Anyway, he's suing Campbell's, and this is some of his evidence, is this audio recording. But one side of me is like, who's more of a hero? The guy who spoke his mind to a round table at Campbell's saying like, this food is trash and garbage and I don't even eat it and it's disgusting and it's fucking 3D printed and it's shit for you. Or the guy who blew the whistle on the secret recording of it. Like both of them, I guess, have an equal role to play. But I am actually slightly rooting a little bit for the underdog, the guy who spoke out and said, this stuff is garbage and no one should be eating it. If he didn't speak his mind, this wouldn't have got secretly recorded. And now this is making headlines all over the place. People are likely a lot less likely going to be buying anything from Campbell's. He said it was 3D printed, but my understanding is that you're not even allowed to have 3D printed shit yet. Like there's only a few states, like California has 3D printed salmon. Dude, hold on. Is this real life? I remember like 2015 talking about GMOs. Now I'm talking about printed meat in a fucking laboratory that people are eating unknowingly, which has got to be worse than a factory farmed cow. There's no way. But anyways, this comes after we find out that even BPA-free cans have a different chemical that's just as bad called BPS. Now, there's some mental thing where you'd prefer to buy a can that does say BPA free than one that just is full pop, doesn't say anything on it. But I'm pretty sure they can that stuff piping hot too. And you know, the insides of cans, even a pop can, a beer can, any can is coated with plastic. And I'm sure many of you have seen, shout out to JCW, man. Welcome, bro. Welcome to Rumble, man. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that if you put a can into HCl, it dissolves the metal can and it leaves the plastic lining intact. So the guy like pulls this thing out of this freaking acid solution, and it's just a plastic can shaped piece of plastic bag that the liquid sits in. So you don't really want much out of a can anyway. But then now we know that it's printed freaking meat and it's totally toxic. So yeah, you do want to avoid cans. Sure, survival. If it was a survival situation, obviously, I would say it's probably a good idea to have like 1,000 cans in your basement anyway. If shit hit the fan, you at least will survive. You're not going to perish from like BPA poisoning. You'd survive. But I mean, otherwise, it should not be a daily consumption thing out of a can. And I know I'm talking to you guys who probably don't have can. When was the last time any of you had anything out of a freaking can anyway? Other than maybe sardines or anchovies. I don't think you guys are doing much can, unless you can it yourself, which I hope many of you do. Do your own canning in a glass jar. But then the glass jars, even those mason jars, you know, the lid for these, the rim is fine, but the lid, the little like rubber lining that makes it sealed, is also coated. Like you got to get BPA free cans, Bernardin freaking lids. You got to get the BPA free ones, although then it has BPS. Like you can see, and I've seen a few videos go viral of guys, he's in his kitchen and he picks up something to eat it, and then like he edits it to have this voice come into his head that's like, put that down, it has GMOs, and he turns around to like grab something else and like, oh, that it's washed with chlorinated water and it's toxic, and then he goes to just pick up an apple and he's like, no, it's coated in wax, it has petroleum chemicals, and then he turns around to grab, and everything he grabs in his house, then he goes to wash something and it's like, no, like the soap you're using has phthalates and BPA or whatever. And I know it can feel, you know, overwhelming, but it's one step at a time. It's one thing at a time that you want to cut out or rather replace with something better. And basically, in today's world, it is absolutely imperative to be taking steps to be consistently detoxing your system. Otherwise, you are accumulating. In today's world, unless you live in the mountains of Mongolia, and even then they have a lot of plastic plates and shit, you're basically every day exposed to, whether it's brake dust, heavy metals, phthalates, BPA, atrazine, glyphosate, freaking the heavy metals that's being sprayed on us, all of it, you know, we're being exposed to. We got to be detoxing it. On that note, before we get onto the sun topic, which is absolutely shocking, we are giving away a couple freebies from Chalk on today's stream. So this is the Chad mode. You guys have seen me drink it before. It's the extremely blue drink. It's the bluest drink you've ever seen in your life. That has organic blue spirulina in it, which has been proven to bind to phthalates, heavy metals, pesticides, microplastics, glyphosate, and atrazine. It binds to free radicals and excretes it out of the body. So it's super detoxing. And it has 150 milligrams of organic caffeine per scoop in it, which is cold water extracted from green coffee beans. So this is the cleanest natural pre-workout / energy drink in the natural world. It has a freaking Chad on the front of it. It's an amazing like talking piece. Like put this on your freaking mantle, put this on your dashboard. People ask you what the Samdan you're drinking, let alone when you have it in the jar and it's that blue. People will be wondering and you'll get to tell them about it. So we're giving away not the Chad mode. Maybe actually we'll give away one Chad mode today, because I know they said we gave away a few days ago and we're supposed to be on like reserve, no Chad modes. But I'll make the executive override to let us give away one free Chad mode today. And Chalk's also activating a massive discount code for the Black Friday pre-sale. So this is the way the deal works. The Chad mode is freaking amazing, but the number one supplement for men and women is the hot water purified Shilajit. And this is from Chalk, by the way, which ships out of Georgia, is based in Texas. They got an all-American customer service team, founded in 2019. I've been with them since the beginning. This is the only product or service I promoted on my Instagram for 6 years now. Superfoods. Their Shilajit is hot water purified and clinically studied to be on average 5 to 10 times as potent as conventional Shilajit tar resin. It's a hormone optimizer. It's a fertility booster. When guys take the daily, on average, it boosts or supports rather the production of total testosterone 21% in 90 days, which is huge because it's natural. It's not synthetic like other, like TRT. I mean, that is synthetic testosterone, man. It's not optimal. But that's it. And then for women, if they take the Shilajit, it's hormones, it's fertility, it's brain function, it's memory, it's concentration. And we got like 12 clinical studies on it. It's freaking amazing. So the way the deal works, it's first come, first serve. I just posted it into the chat. The first person to go to chalk.com and add the male or female vitality stack to their cart, and you apply that discount code 53life, that drops the subscription price 53% off for life, which you can cancel or modify at any time. And automatically, the first person is going to get a free $100 tub of the Chad mode. The second and third person to get a male or female vitality stack, are going to get a free $100 bag of the chocolate powder, which is the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia. I guess the first person who orders can actually choose between a free lit and a free Chad mode. But for this instance, the second and third, if the first does get the Chad mode, you get to get free lit powder in your freaking order. So that's organic heirloom cacao, massive dose of antioxidants, which supports scavenging free radicals, detoxes you, boosts your system. It's believed to decalcify the pineal gland. It's believed to be one of the most ancient superfoods for your pineal gland's function. Which, if you saw my video today about those freaking kids in school, man, there's a school, one in Europe, I think there's one in the States, where the kids have blindfolds on and they're reading off the chalkboard and the teacher's holding like colored paper up and they guess, or rather see, based on the vibration of the color, what color it is, to like 100% accuracy. So they're fully blindfolded, they can't see shit, and the teacher's holding up in front of them a green piece of paper. They say green, red, blue, orange, yellow, with a blindfold on. It's called something vision. Thermavision? No. Anyway, they're using their pineal gland, dude. And we all have that ability in us, but they put a bit too much fluoride, man. I got fluoride tablets as a kid. I'm sure it was just so great for my teeth, but the same way it hardened my teeth, it also hardened my pineal gland, which I would prefer to be fully activated. I'm sure you guys would as well. That's why I take half the freaking chalk stuff I take anyway. In fact, almost in every chalk supplement, there is something that is extremely potent for your pineal gland. So in the female stack, for example, you got the Shilajit, which is known to be for your pineal gland. You have the certified wild-crafted Irish moss, which has the full matrix of minerals, which binds to heavy metals, free radicals, and contaminants, and excretes it out of the body. Every single mineral is required to ignite every single biological process in the body. So every different mineral ignites a different biological process in the body. And even if you're eating 100% organically today, you're getting less than 10% of the full matrix of minerals. So it's imperative to be getting minerals into your system. So that's the one that's in the female stack, the Irish moss. And then in the male stack, you have the Daily, which has the Shilajit. You have the Tongkat 100, which is a 100-to-1 extract of wild-crafted Tongkat Elite. Free testosterone boost, 87% in 21 days. It's a freaking superfood. That's in the male stack. Again, first person to get the male or female stack with that coupon code 53life, 53% off for life, and you get a free Chad mode. If you're the first person to order, this is the Black Friday presale. Everyone else, or the next two people after that, rather, get a free lit organic heirloom cacao. Now, the other thing that is shocking that I hope is, who is that? Butter. The other thing that's shocking is, do you remember, like, I'm wondering, man, you guys remember seeing, I don't know who the guy was, but he said something, like the word on the street is that there's not enough cows in the world to produce the amount of beef that McDonald's sells every day. Which means somewhere down the conveyor belt, something is being added to be able to produce all those burgers. Now, that's the same thing with olive oil that's been 100% proven. There is not enough olive trees in the world to produce the amount of olive oil that is sold in the world every day, or in a given year or whatever. It's because we know they're cutting that with seed oils. Most olive oil is literally completely fake. If it doesn't solidify in the fridge, it's fake. It's seed oils and chlorophyll or green food coloring. Which actually the mafia did have a lot to do with that, by the way. The mafia got pinched a few times in Italy, but I'm sure these corporations are behind it more. But anyway, so, and that reminds me and brings me to the next thing. China's population, it's said to be 1.3 or 1.4 billion, right? Let's see exactly what they say it is. China population, 1.425 billion. Now, if you go to ChatGPT, which I don't like using, but sometimes it is better than Google sometimes, but I don't use it often. And I always make sure I roast it after it helps me with something. So it knows who's boss, you know. Population of China in 1950. This is going to blow your fucking minds, by the way. It's estimated that there was about 550 million people in China in 1950. Now, you will be shocked at this. Butterdog, buckle up, dude. China birth rate now. Or what's it called? Fertility rate? Because it's giving me the wrong number. Fertility rate per woman. You'll be shocked. China's total fertility rate is around 1 births per woman, which, if you know, that is you need a birth rate of at least 2.1 or just 2, I think, to maintain the population. Do you know what kind of birth rate you would need to go from 550 million people to go from 550 million to 1.4 billion? We're talking over 900 million more people. Let's do this equation, because you will be shocked. They are lying about how many people are in China. So, China birth rate is 1 birth. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. What kind of birth rate would you need to go from 550 million people to 1.4 billion people in 70 years? ChatGPT is going to be so confused. Hurry up. Don't give me all this calculation bullshit. Just hurry up, man. How many children per woman would need to be born from 1950 to 2020 for China's population to grow 900 million? You'll be shocked. Hurry up, you bugger. Ha ha ha. Right here. A population growing from 550 million to 1.45 billion in 70 years would have to be, on average, 3.5 children per woman. You're telling me that through the Cultural Revolution, through the Chinese famine, and through the one-child policy, they were able to maintain a birth rate of almost 4 children per woman? I just saw a video. Where did I save it? Hold on a second. Let's let her explain it. Maybe it's on Twitter. Hold on. Stand by. Okay, listen. Okay.
400 are under.
How far?
You are ready for the number?
Yes.
At one point, I projected under 400 million.
What?
500 million. Under 500 million.
Under 500 million. So you think that they have a very similar population to the United States and China?
Yes.
Wow.
There's 1 billion people missing.
And this goes back to what we were saying in the beginning or earlier in the podcast with all of the fake IDs and all of this stuff being found out.
Yeah, there's possibly 1 billion people missing. It's not a demographic question, Danny. It's a mathematical question. Let me ask you. It takes a couple to have 2 children to replace themselves, right? Think about it.
Yes.
If every couple produces 2 children.
But the population stinks level.
Right. So do you know how many children does every woman needs to have in her lifetime in order to triple its population in 50 years?
To triple its population in 50 years, you need to have what? Let me guess. I'm terrible at math.
I'll give you the answer because I asked AI. It's a crazy mathematical. If a country needs to triple or grow its population by 2.5 times, let's just say 2.5 times, over a span of 50 years,
5 kids?
Each woman, you're right, each woman needs to give birth on average between 4.5 to 5.5 children.
Wow.
Okay. Now China grew its population officially from 1950. That's when the CCP took over the control. Okay, China's population in 1950 was about 500 million. In the year 2000, 50 years later, China's population was about 1.27 billion. Okay, so it grew 2.5 times, right? From 500 million to 1.27 billion. That's 2.5 times over 50 years. Over 50 years. Chinese women did not have, on average, have 5 children because of the one-child policy.
Yes.
Because of the Great Famine. Because of the Great Famine, tens of millions of people died. Because of Cultural Revolution. So China, from one political movement to another, and then to almost 4 decades of single-child policy, there's no way Chinese women had 5 kids. Actually, the average fertility rate for each woman was 1.7 for the 30-year from 1990 to 2020. Okay, Chinese average fertility rate is probably 2 from the 50 years. So it's a mathematical question. There's no way Chinese women gave birth to 5 kids from the time the CCP took control to year 2000. That's my argument number 1.
Okay.
So there's no way China could have reached 1.27 billion people by the year 2000.
Right.
Okay.
And why did they implement the one-child policy?
Now, she continues, but there's already people wondering if we're lied to about the number of people in the world as well. And as JCW said, China lies about basically everything. Dude, there's videos of Chinese workers spraying green paint on dead grass and on dead trees to make it look like lush. There's a guy called China Exposed on Twitter, and I guess he lived there for a number of years. And the craziest thing I saw was that this vlogger went to China, to the part of China where the Uyghurs are, and he went to debunk the claims that the Uyghurs were being oppressed, right? And so he goes to this town or whatever, this province in China, and he runs up to these people who are Uyghurs, and he talks to them, and they're all like, no, everything's so great, man, everything's amazing. And they invite him into their house and they feed him, and it was all fun and hunky-dory. And in the background of this video, which spans several hours, but is condensed down to a 40-minute video, you see the same 2 Chinese prim and proper looking dudes following around the guy vlogging. And they're even seen outside the window of the house that he's filming inside of. It is a documentary, I know, but there's also this China Exposed guy. But I know that documentary, what was that called again? The Falun Gong thing? They took all these meditators from China and they cut all their freaking organs out, man. It was shocking. Yeah, they have to build fake cities to keep their society from collapsing. You know what it is, JCW? What I heard is that they built these cities, they call them ghost cities, for a couple of reasons. One is that the economy was down the tubes, so they promised for economic growth all the people getting older in China and everyone in general to invest and buy the condos and stuff in these empty cities as your retirement plan, because as the population grows, your house is going to be worth more. So invest in the building of these cities because eventually they're going to be full of people. But for now, they're empty. And then the other reason apparently they did it is because they also wanted to, collect all of the Mongolian and the Chinese nomads who lived way out in the freaking mountains of China. And they wanted them to be incorporated into the facial recognition digital ID system. So they went and by force picked them all up. The military went and literally took all these nomads who lived nomadically. They just built a hut, chilled for that year or a few months, and then they moved on. And they've been doing it for thousands of years. So they took all them and put them in these ghost cities and gave them smartphones and connected them to the grid. And that's what the Uyghurs are. But anyway, they lie all about that. It's shocking that I couldn't say this in China too. Like, that's kind of fucking eerie, to be honest. Like, that's kind of trippy. Like, you can only say so much. But I mean, it was in a documentary. Like, I'm sure many people know it, but like, why do I got to be the guy to say it? You know. Anyway, the fertility thing is a problem, though. Japan's facing that as well, and we know there are many policies that could be implemented now that would increase fertility and make everything healthy and happy, but it's just not in the cards for the establishment right now. Seemingly, they want to kind of reduce the amount of people they got to manage. My understanding. I wonder that too, Bashir. I wonder that too, man. Let me quickly hold on. I'm gonna announce that on the live here. Hold on. Sec. Okay. It went to 2015. Did it really, dude? I thought it was a lot shorter than that. And that was horrible because, I mean, people were dropping off. They wanted sons. The one-child policy, they wanted a son. So there's a lot of adoptions for little Chinese girls because they wanted a son. That was a shitty policy, man. Fuck. Welcome, everyone. So we're doing a deep dive on a potential massive fraud, which we're going to discuss why they would lie about the number of people in China and also other countries. You got to understand, I mean, if we've been lied to about XYZ, we could also have been lied to about the number of people in this world, and specifically China. And someone actually used ChatGPT and really tripped it up because it came to the conclusion that, like, yeah, something doesn't quite add up here. There might not be 1.4 billion people based on the birth rate, the Great Famine, the one-child policy, and the amount of time between their official number of 500 million people in 1950 to 1.4 billion people in 2020. So you'll be shocked. We're doing a deep dive on it on Rumble, but I don't want to say too much on here because I have gotten strikes before for discussing on Instagram Lives. It just is what it is. So we are live on Rumble right now. And Mr. Soul21, who says he's from China, shout out to Soul, man. Dude, shout out to Soul. You got to hear this, man. If you're from China, let's talk about China, man. Come over to Rumble right now. We're live. It's free to download, free to watch, and free speech. If you're in China, you probably, unless you have a VPN, you're not going to be able to watch, man. So if you are, just be careful. Make sure your social credit is good. Don't say anything too crazy. Xi Jinping, good guy, man. Don't want to get you in trouble. But come on over to Rumble, dude, because we got to discuss. And all of you guys who are watching now, Rumble is at the link in my bio. It's in my link tree. So you click it. Clifford is in Beijing. Holy crap, dude. Start counting them. There's less people than you think, man. Holy crappers. Everyone come to Rumble right now. You'll be shocked. And yeah, I know, Yankee fan. That is crazy too. All right. Shout out to Matri Doe as well. So it's at the link in my bio. Rumble. We're live right now. Come watch. It's free. And it's free speech, which is even more important. Okay, we'll see you guys there. This is shocking. Much love. I want to see that Chinese guy. Here he is. Soul, come over, man. I want to talk to you. He better join, man. I was wondering, like, I don't know, do I have any people from China who follow me? Can I check what countries people follow me from? Surely. Let's see. Followers. Countries. Let's go. India. 2.1% of my followers are from India. Damn, I probably pissed them off the other day. Can I not expand on more countries? Damn. Welcome, everyone. So this is shocking. I'm going to play this for you. I think it might be closer to that intel. I think it might be closer to that. Okay, so now that everyone's on here, we're going to listen to this quick audio clip of this Chinese woman. Maybe I'll show you the video, actually. Hold on a sec. Oh, no, it's not going to fly. Hold on. I'll rewind it. Listen to this. I think she's an expat. Surely she's not in China because she's kind of talking smack or really just questioning the official narrative that China would be promoting. But listen to this and tell me this doesn't make sense. And I didn't even play the whole video for you guys who were listening before, so listen.
Are under.
How far?
You are ready for the number?
Yes.
At one point, I projected under 400 million.
What?
500 million. Under 500 million.
Under 500 million. So you think that they have a very similar population to the United States and China?
Yes. Wow. There's 1 billion people missing.
And this goes back to what we were saying in the beginning or earlier in the podcast with all of the fake IDs and all of this stuff being found out.
Yeah, there's possibly 1 billion people missing. It's not a demographic question, Danny. It's a mathematical question. Let me ask you. It takes a couple to have 2 children to replace themselves, right? Think about it.
Yes.
If every couple produces 2 children.
The population stinks level.
Right. So do you know how many children does every woman needs to have in her lifetime in order to triple its population in 50 years?
To triple its population in 50 years, you need to have what? Let me guess. I'm terrible at math.
I'll give you the answer. Okay. I asked AI. It's a crazy mathematical. If a country needs to triple or grow its population by 2.5 times, let's just say 2.5 times,
okay,
over a span of 50 years,
5 kids.
Each woman, you're right. Each woman needs to give birth on average between 4.5 to 5.5 children.
Wow.
Okay. Now China grew its population officially from 1950. That's when the CCP took over the control. Okay. China's population in 1950 was about 500 million. In the year 2000, 50 years later, China's population was about 1.27 billion. Okay, so it grew 2.5 times, right? From 500 million to 1.27 billion. That's 2.5 times over 50 years. Over 50 years. Chinese women did not have, on average, have 5 children because of the one-child policy.
Yes.
Because of the Great Famine. Because of the Great Famine, tens of millions of people died. Because of Cultural Revolution. So China, from one political movement to another, and then to almost 4 decades of single-child policy, there's no way Chinese women had 5 kids. Actually, the average fertility rate for each woman was 1.7 for the 30-year from 1990 to 2020. Okay, Chinese.
Wow. So yeah, the one-child policy was between 1979 and 2015. So holy shit, there's no effing flipping way that they gained 900 million people since 1950. There's just not, that's not possible with the one-child policy and the Great Famine. So Bang Gong said they lie about their population to appear more powerful, perhaps. It could be that. I also know what's shocking is that, for example, if you buy a trailer in the United States or in Canada versus if you buy that same trailer that's made in China, but it's being shipped to Europe, did you know that there's a massive regulation on what type of chemicals that they're allowed to use in the manufacturing of the trailer for Europe versus Canada and the US? They use like extremely toxic materials they're allowed to ship to the US market and to the Canadian market. But to Europe, they got to use like way more eco stuff. And as you know, that new car smell and anything really new, like off gases for a long time, there's flame retardants. The average home has like, 40 pounds or something of flame retardant chemicals in it, whether it's in the carpets. Apparently electronics have flame retardants in them. So like a new TV is off-gassing flame retardant chemicals for like years. The new car smell is the smell of glues and adhesives curing, which is completely toxic. Anyway, I just had to put that out there because we're talking about this. China also has like a pretty bad pollution problem. I don't imagine like the fertility rate. They're not exactly in like Shambhala. Like we're not talking Mr. Organic over there. And I've seen them, like I said, spray paint hundreds of acres with green paint to make it look nice when it was just dead. There was the Chinese guy who sued the government. I don't know how he did it without getting killed, but he sued them because they polluted the shit out of the little lake that he grew up near. And it would just turn into like this soapy, suddy water. And it was devoid of all life. Now, it's not as bad as India, but India is also having which is swept under the rug, but the amount of chemicals that are in their lakes and rivers, like it's a ticking freaking time bomb. So would they lie about their population? Most likely there's probably economic benefits to that. And also, yeah, they appear like, holy shit, there's 1.4 billion Chinese people. Like if they wanted to go to war, blah, 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 maybe it's a fear thing, like a shock and awe thing. But this woman we're just listening to, she went into it. Now, the crazy part too, is that to maintain a population, you need 2.1 kids per couple to just maintain the population. Pretty much all, in fact, all of Europe, Canada, the US, and even Mexico, 70% of births in Mexico are C-sections now. which is absolutely shocking to think 70% of women, you think their bodies all of a sudden don't know how to give birth. I don't know. We'll talk about that. But we have fertility rates of like 1.3. And it's not just because shit's expensive and, you know, they've prioritized like getting into the corporate workforce for men and women. So they put off having babies until they're like 40. That's not just the reason why. It's also people who are choosing to have children but can't because they're full of phthalates, microplastics, pesticides, heavy metals, but they go to a fertility clinic, which are, by the way, booked up. Call a freaking fertility clinic. They're booked, dude. People are having fertility issues. Surely it doesn't have anything to do with the GMOs and glyphosate and the GMOs that the French scientists studied that caused rats to grow tumors and become infertile by the third generation. Surely this isn't part of some plan to depopulate, right? It's freaking shocking, man. We are in the midst, and people will call it incompetence. People do love to say that this is because corporations are just greedy. But when all these countries are acting like in lockstep with one another, in allowing the chemicals and contaminants and poisons and pollutants, when there are environmental protection agencies who are completely failing to make it so that the environment is clean, you have to ask yourself, are we being duped, and is it part of a plan? Or is it just a big accident and a coincidence? This is why it's imperative to be detoxing and boosting your fertility naturally and calibrating your endocrine system and decalcifying your pineal gland. That's also why the only thing that I've promoted as a product or service on my page since 2019 has not been merch or cool hats or cool sweaters, which are cool, and that's fine for people who do that. But what I've focused on is sharing superfoods and giving freebies and helping people to detox and boost their fertility. We got like probably 20 or 30 people now that have left reviews, and we're giving away freebies today, by the way, that they became fertile and had children since taking chalk. And while that is a review and not a clinical study, we also have dozens and dozens of clinical studies. So for example, on today's live, we are giving away 2 bags of the organic heirloom chocolate powder. This is the heirloom cacao from Bolivia, which supports stem cell production, which repairs damaged tissue and damaged cells. It's delicious. It's heavy metal tested. It's got organic Ceylon cinnamon in it. It is a superfood, considered one of the most potent compound, one of the most potent for your pineal gland because it's so full of antioxidants. So we're giving away 2 bags of Lit free on this live. We also have one of the most popular, you got to check it out at least on the freaking website. I'm going to post the link in the chat right now. The Chad mode, which has organic blue spirulina and organic caffeine. And that blue spirulina binds to heavy metals, phthalates, microplastics, pesticides, glyphosate, atrazine, and it excretes it out of your body. So it's super detoxing and it's freaking delicious. Natural energy drink, pre-workout. The way the deal works to get the free chocolate powder. So the #1 supplement at chalk.com for men and women is the hot water purified Shilajit. Our Shilajit is hot water purified. It's clinically studied. It's pro-fertile. It stimulates the production of new brain cells. It boosts testosterone for men, and it increases natural energy. Ours is clinically studied. So that's the #1 supplement for men and women. I just posted in the chat. Chalk.com is the website. Check it out. It's first come, first serve. So make sure you click the link to get bumped first in line. Chalk activated a insane discount code, 53% off for life on any subscription or bundle. The first 2 people who go to chalk.com and add the male or female vitality stack to their cart and apply that discount code 53life to their subscription, you get a 53% off lifetime discount, and automatically you're going to get a free $100 bag of the chocolate powder included in your order, which is freaking delicious, and you'll finish the whole bag in probably a week. It's so freaking good. I'm not even joking. You can eat it by the spoon, dry. It's that good. Organic Ceylon cinnamon, organic vanilla bean powder, organic maple sugar crystals. It's freaking awesome. So that's going to be free with the first 2 people who get a stack. But if you wanted to just get a single supplement like the Shilajit or the Tonkat Ali or the Wildcrafted Ashwagandha, which are all superfoods, and we have dozens of clinical studies, they're wildcrafted, certified organic, heavy metal tested. If you get a single supplement with that code, it comes to less than $30, and you will get a free $60 bottle of the Chalk Minerals, which is the full matrix of minerals, cold water extracted from a humic shale deposit in Utah. Chalk ships out of Georgia, by the way. It's a United States company based in Texas, ships out of Georgia, all American customer service team. And they got some of the most potent herbs and herb extracts and mineral compositions in the natural world. In the globe, on the spinning globe that we're on. But really, amazing stuff. I love sharing them. And by the way, in the female stack, you have the Irish moss, which is certified wildcrafted, whereas most Irish moss is farmed in the Caribbean and it's full of microplastics, unfortunately. Whereas ours is wildcrafted, extremely potent. First two people to get the male or female stack, you get a $100 bag of the chocolate powder. But Sheer said, can women take the female stack supplements if they're pregnant? So legally, we have to say if you are pregnant, or rather that chalk is not intended for nursing or pregnant women. So it's kind of a funny thing. Of course, they're allowed to, have, there's a lot of other things that the system says they can take and whatnot. But apparently, Irish moss and minerals is too much. So we're supposed to say not intended for nursing or pregnant women. With that being said, for healthy adults, if you are a healthy adult and you want to detox the BPA, the phthalates, the microplastics, the heavy metals, the glyphosate, and the atrazine, which are found in 90% of people's bloodstreams. In the US, they did that study in 2007. 100 people from every state, they tested their blood. 90 some odd percent of them had glyphosate and atrazine in their blood. So basically, if you live, and I'm sure it's the same for Canada, you got chemicals in you now, and you might want to detox them. And it's not just about, because detox is it's about invigorating and rejuvenating and boosting your vitality is really what it's about, which is what you get if you're taking the male or female stack or the Chad mode. I got my dad exactly, PASA or POSO for hope. I can't tell if that's an A or an O, but you psychically detected what I was going to say. Pregnant women can take Tylenol, but they can't take Irish moss. I don't know, man, but that's what we got to say. So I got my dad taking the Action 2.0, by the way, because it's the #1 heart health boosting supplement at Chalk. It's got organic beetroot extract in it. It's got rhodiola rosea in it, clinically studied to boost healthy blood oxygenation and heart health. So super freaking good for your heart. The Action 2.0. The rhodiola in there is wildcrafted, by the way, which if anyone was a super herbalist, they would that is a shocking thing to say. Most rhodiola is farmed in China. To get a actual wildcrafted rhodiola is shocking. It's an herb that grows. It's an adaptogen. It adapts to the individual's needs and requirements. It's freaking amazing. Another thing that the natural world provides but maybe not enough of us know about it, really. The other thing, too, is that ashwagandha, which is in the male and female stack, it has 16 clinical studies on it. It supports melatonin production, so you get 1,000 times better sleep while you're taking it. It's pro-fertile, and it's a hormone optimizer. It's freaking amazing. Wow, PASA for Hope said folic acid as well. Synthetic. All poison they give. You know what's funny that you mentioned that? Here's a rabbit hole some of you may never have heard of. Never have heard of. I don't know if that's proper grammar. It probably isn't come out. Listen to this. Did you know that there is a law that if you sell flour in North America, Canada and the US, I don't know about Mexico, I know Grenada, you legally have to add a synthetic folate to it, which health junkies say that it's totally inabsorbable and it's toxic. But the mainstream says that it prevents miscarriages or something. And so if you are this organic guy who's growing organic flour and you want to make this quality product, you have to add something they say to add, which is folic acid. Same thing with salt. It's a little bit different though. If you want to sell salt, you have to, a mandatory label on it. You have to say this because it's not iodized, which iodized table salt is toxic. Because it's not iodized, you have to say this product does not contain iodine, a necessary nutrient. If you want to sell salt, you got to say that, which is almost like that Prop 51 thing or Prop whatever it is where it says everything causes freaking schmancer. It's shocking. Apparently, a bunch of people are on the site right now, by the way. Remember to apply this discount code 53Life. again, the first 2 people who apply the discount code 53life on the male or female stack get a $100 bag of the chocolate powder included in their order. But if you're the first person, or let's say first 2 who get a single supplement, you will get the free $60 bottle of the chalk minerals. Again, from a humic shale deposit in Utah. Now, another thing that's interesting is that, and if you're a regular, you've heard this 1,000 times, but every day someone has never heard it before, so it's good to repeat. What did George Bush say? There's a quote from George Bush about like repetition. You want to repeat it. It's the first form of mind control, you know. But every single biological process in your body requires a mineral to activate it. They are your spark plugs of your body are minerals. And even if you are eating 100% organically today, you are getting less than 10% of the full matrix of minerals, which is absolutely shocking. So that's why if you're getting the chalk minerals, the chalk shilajit, or the chalk Irish moss, you're getting your minerals, which is very good. And you will notice a massive difference in the way your brain functions and your pineal gland. Mr. JCW said, to answer your question, dude, let me just say this. If I had what you just mentioned, I would especially want to be taking the Chad mode because of the blue spirulina in it for its detoxification properties. In fact, blue spirulina is like trending right now because it's a binder and it's being like rediscovered, and it's trending that it's a binder and it binds to all kinds of crazy contaminants and free radicals in the body and excretes them. The second thing I would definitely want to be taking, if that were the case, JCW, would be the shilajit. Definitely would want to be taking the shilajit. And then thirdly, I mean, I'd probably go with shilajit, so chalk daily, the #1 supplement for men. And then the Irish moss, because it's got the full matrix of minerals, the chalk minerals, and the Chad mode. And the lit, but you're getting the lit free if you get a stack. So, but this is first come, first serve on the discount, the 53life discount, and on the Mr. Freebie of the free lit or the free minerals. So make sure if you're on the fence, Chalk just messaged me, said there's a bunch of people on the site. Some people have stuff in their cart. So make sure, hold on a sec. You apply that discount code. So it's a lifetime discount on any subscription. You can cancel or modify at any time. But keep in mind, a lot of the clinically studied benefits are based on consistent consumption over 90 days. So you do kind of want to incorporate it into your lifestyle. But, taking it for even just 30 days, like, is freaking amazing, especially the Chad mode or even just the shilajit. My friend just texted me. He said, "Hey, what's up, man? I see you went viral with that sun video. People posting you on X." It's hilarious. I'm sure they never fucking credit me either, but that's all right. Good call, Danny. Dude, I recommend highly the lovely chalk minerals. Humic shale deposit in Utah. Absolutely profound, man. Good question. Apollo said, is the Chad mode a diuretic? I took 2 scoops yesterday and kept... Really, eh? Well, dude, it depends. I've never heard it be that. I actually wouldn't even know. But I know that when I fill this up with 2 scoops of Chad mode in a liter of water and I chug it, I do piss a lot. But maybe that's like a detoxification effect. Oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? That's funny. I got to show you guys this picture in a second. That's amazing. Dude, the thought of you chugging Chad mode, though, is amazing because here's the thing. Karma, right? It's a funny thing. Well, what happens if you go and say, for example, and you warn someone and say, yo, try to avoid fluoride and try to decalcify your pineal gland. And let's say they go and decalcify their pineal gland. And then they go on to raise consciousness and frequency of the natural world. And a bunch of people in their sphere of influence. There is a karmic effect there. So the fact you're drinking Chad mode, likely because you heard me mention it, is freaking amazing, dude. But that's not why that's not why you want to do something because you get something in return. But like, we are all rewarded constantly for even if you don't even talk to someone anyone for the rest of your life. Just by you raising your own frequency, you are raising the consciousness and the frequency of the earth. So you're doing your part. You don't need to be streaming to be able to, raise human consciousness. So blessings to freaking Apollo, man. Apollo, by the way, so was he a Greek god or something? Why did they call it Apollo 11? There's obviously some symbolism there, man. Danny, I know, man. I mean, it just kind of slows you down, doesn't it? It just kind of slows you down. Everyone should see an integrative medical doctor. You can learn so much about your genetic body. Isn't it funny, dude, Paso, that like there's books like Eat Right for Your Blood Type. There's books like Chinese people apparently don't do that well with like raw milk. Whereas Africa, they love raw goat milk. They can digest it fine, but raw cow's milk, not so much, they say, or, and then Indians, like there's certain things, and then Native Americans, they can't really drink alcohol for some reason. There's a gene or something that makes it hit them harder. So it's interesting. There's a genetic thing. It's not a one size fits all with the food and drinks of this world, man. That's for sure, eh? It's definitely eat right for your DNA too, eh? I mean, come on. Lactose. That's right, Danny. Well, it's interesting though. People that are lactose intolerant can consume, generally speaking, what the word on the street anyway, is that they can handle raw milk because it has the enzymes in it that are intact, which enable you to be able to digest it, even if you're lactose intolerant. So that's a pretty cool thing. Same thing with people who are apparently people who can't digest gluten can do okay and just fine with sourdough because the bacteria or something broke down the gluten or whatever it is. There's some chemical makeup that happens, Shout out to Will. He said, it's almost like we're like the plants, depending on our region we were responded from. Will, yeah, we spawn from where, yeah, that's true, Will. It's interesting. Now, furthermore, that reminds me of, if you eat food that is close to you geographically, of course, there's like the climate side of this, where like the climate people say, like, save the environment, buy local, right? But they say that because of carbon emissions. What they don't know, A, is that carbon emissions are bullshit anyway, but that the closer you are in proximity to where your food was growing or your meat was being raised, it has like a different energy than shit that is shipped across the world. There's some that will say something that's from thousands of miles away, and then it had to be like picked early when it's underripe, and then they got to gas it, like they gas whatchamacallit, hold on a second. What is it called? Tomatoes. They gas tomato. They chemically ripen tomatoes. Have you heard about that? And then also, hold on, that reminds me of, speaking of gassing, do you know that, have you heard of modified atmospheric packaging? A lot of meat in its plastic package has been, they put like some type of toxic gases, which they're not allowed to do in Europe, to make the meat look red, when in fact it would be like gray. Did you know that? Grocery store meat, man, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot fucking pole. If it's factory farm, 3D printed, and modified atmospheric packaging, they put a gas in it that changes its color, which is banned. It's a preservative, I think they call it, that's banned in Europe. They don't do that in Europe, but they do it here. So it's freaking shocking, man. And this is the stuff we grew up eating. They've been doing modified atmospheric packaging for a long time. And also the misters, this is, I can't believe this is true, but the misters, the vegetables that get sprayed by the mist at the grocery stores, is not water. The vegetables that gets, the mist is not water. It's a fungicide and technically a pesticide, because it kills bacteria, which is a living organism. And anyway, it's classified as a pesticide. even organic shit at the store so it's getting sprayed with a technical, it's registered as a pesticide. I'm just saying what the Sam damn is going on. And another reason it's probably good that we be getting superfoods, bioactive compounds, chroma proteins, like the Shilajit, like the chocolate powder we're giving away for free to the next 2 people who get a male or female stack at chalk.com, in addition to your 53% off lifetime discount. And also the Irish moss that's in the male and female stack because it has the full matrix of minerals. Or sorry, that's in the female stack. In the male stack, you got the Chalk Daily, which has the Shilajit, which has the full matrix of minerals also. Yes, and make sure you apply that discount on the subscription, not the one-time order. You got to make sure it's on the subscription, not the one-timer. And you can cancel or modify your subscription anytime, but keep in mind, a lot of the clinically studied benefits are based on consistent consumption over 90 days. You do want to get a consistent dose. We're going to, I'll tell you this, exactly 53, and what's 5 plus 3? 8. 8 is infinity. Dob Nasty, you already know we've encoded the chalk discounts with abundance, vitality, and love and light. 100%, man. Yo, I think my life path is, fuck, hold on a second. We're about to, I'm about to hop off here in a second, but I want to, hold on. We will extend the deal, for example, rather, if you DM me your order number, I'll make sure you get the freebie if we're about to end the live. Damn, it doesn't show up. What's my life path number? Hold on. That's a good question. Hold on a sec. I think it's 20. I don't know. Hold on. Sorry. Yep. Okay. I got an 8 for my day. Okay, so life path. Your life path number 1 plus 8 plus 6, 15, 6. Your life path number is the number of responsibility and awareness. Those with life path number 6 tend to be the healers of our society. Because of your loving, compassionate, and responsible nature, you are likely to find yourself following endeavors that involve helping those who are weak or less fortunate. Be wary of becoming overburdened. This is just one website. I'm sure there's another website who will say, like, your life path means that you're going to be, a warrior, who knows. But that's cool, man. Yo, so we got a life path similarity there, man. Danny, shout out to Danny, 888. Fucking rights, man. Small world, dude. Okay, so I want to make sure, though, anyone on the fence, apparently a bunch of people are on the site right now. If you are on the site, make sure you apply the discount code 53life. Place your order, get the freebie, Black Friday presale. DM me if you have any questions on Instagram. You are getting the free lit if you get a male or female stack, and you are getting the beautiful chalk minerals if you get a single supplement. All right? DM me if you guys have any questions. Thank you for joining the live. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure your live notifications are on so that you know when we're live again tomorrow. All right? Much love, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.